You'll often need to do some work with the variables you create when writing a program. This is where operators come in. As the name suggests, operators let you perform operations like addition, subtraction, and even compare values. Hi, I'm Victor, and today on Height Above Sea Level, we'll be looking at operators in C#. Before we get started, if you want to talk more about this kind of thing, be sure to follow me on Twitch at Height Above Sea Level, where I do some live coding sessions as well as try and answer some of your questions as best I can. Hopefully you watched my last two videos on variables and numbers because some of that knowledge will apply here. If not, I'll have them linked to the top right of your screen. Okay, operators. C# has multiple groups of operators, but we'll be looking at the four most commonly used ones: arithmetic operators, comparison operators, assignment, and logical. So why don't we start off with assignment, or actually arithmetic operators. And as the name suggests, these are used in mathematical operations. So we're talking about the plus, the minus, the multiplication, which is an asterisk, the division, which is a /, and we'll be looking at 2 or 3 interesting ones: the remainder operator, the increment operator, and the decrement operators. So why don't we look at these in a few examples? We can begin with saying var first number is equals to something simple like 2. And then we can say var second number is equals to, IntelliCode is there helping me out, press tab, 3. So why don't we say var sum is equals to first number, and then I add that to second number. So our first number is 2, our second number is 3. So when we add them, what do you think will be the result? Well, it's a bit simple, so you probably already guessed it. If we press CW and tab and write on the console the sum, Control and F5, we get 5. And you can do this for any number. This could be like 100, and this could be 46, and it'll give me 146. Again, just like before, we can say first number and then minus, and we can rename this to be difference. Now, to rename something quickly and renaming it everywhere in your program, as you can see, it's highlighted. Sum is highlighted here and sum is highlighted here. When the cursor is on sum, you can place your cursor on it, press Control plus R and Control plus R again, and this screen and this little tab or pop-up should show. And now you can write the new value, press enter, and now you've renamed it everywhere. It saves you so much time. It saves you time because you don't have to come here and say sum and then see something breaks over here. Then you have to come over here and say sum. You see, that's a lot of work. Let's say you had sum in different places. You'll have to replace that in many places. But if you just press Control plus R twice, you can just do it like this. I'm going to undo with Control plus Z and then write this on the console. So 100 minus the second number, which is 46, and that should give me 53, I believe. 54. Same thing with multiplication. Place that with an asterisk. 100, let's say 10 times 46, 460, and then division. So let's say 10 divided by 5. First number is 10. Then I can do a /, Control and F5, 2, because 10 divided by 5 is 2. Now this is an interesting one, the remainder operator. So what is this? When you use this, you're saying divide, first number is divided by the second number, and then you give me the remainder. So let me even rename this to remainder. So that means if there's any remainder, give it to me. So 10 divided by 5, is there a remainder? No. So that's going to be 0. Oops. As you can see right there. But let's say 10 divided by 4. Is there going to be a remainder? Yes. And that remainder should be 2. Because 4 multiplied by 2 is 8, and then when you're dividing 10 divided by 4 without a decimal, 4 can only go into 10 twice, and there's a remainder of 2. And you can do this with other numbers as well, but for simplicity's sake, we'll just use 10 and 4. Now let's look at these interesting ones, the increment and the decrement operators. So let's say you wanted to increase this first number by 1. You can do this, first number plus 1, but a quicker way or a shorter way of doing it is saying first number plus plus. And the same thing with decrement, first number minus minus. Now, something interesting about these two is that you can put them before or you can put them after as a postfix or a prefix. But what's the difference? So let me just remove this for now. If you put it after like this, what you're saying is give me the first number and then afterward, I can just delete this, sorry. Give me the first number and then add 1 to it. And let me show you what this looks like on the console. So if I write the first number, the original one, that should give me 10. And then duplicate that with Control plus D. Then first number plus plus. Remember, increment, increase this by 1. Then Control plus D again. Then give me the final, give me first number again. So at this point, first number is here, it's 10. We haven't done anything to it. But over here, we're adding 1. But the interesting thing is that you give me the first number, then after you've given it to me, you add 1. And then after you've added 1, this should be first number plus 1. So this is going to be 10. This is still going to be 10. And this is going to be 11. This is 10 because you give it to me first. After you've given it to me, then you add 1. So let's look at this on the console, Control and F5. 10 plus 1. Oh, sorry, this is interfering. It's also executing this line, so let me remove that. You see first number here, 10. 10, that's without doing anything to it. And here we're using the increment operator. So what we're saying is give it to me first. So here it is, you're giving it to me, and then add 1. And that's what happens over here. This is now the number after 1 has been added. Same thing goes for decrement operator. So this is going to be 10. This is still going to be 10, but this is going to be 9. Control plus F5. There it is, 10, 10, and 9. But let's say you put this as a prefix, so plus plus. That means the first number, this is going to be the first number without anything done, so that's going to be 10. But we're saying add 1 to it and then give it to me. Whoops. So we add 1 over here, and then you give me the number after you've done the operation, and then again here, give me the number after the operation is done. So this is going to be 10. This is going to be 11. This is also going to be 11. You see, 10. We haven't done anything to it. And then the second line is 11 because what do? We add 1 to it first, and then you give it to me. That's 11. And then this third line over here is just the first number after the operation is complete, which is 11. And that is it for arithmetic operators. Why don't we move on and look at comparison operators? Now, comparison operators, like the name suggests, are for comparing values and return types. So we can say the equals operators, not operators, equals operator. And then we can also say the greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or, not plus, less than or equal to. And those over there are your comparison operators. There's another one that you can use with this. I will show it to you later. So why don't we look at these? So in order to compare values, you need to first have two values. So we're going to use first number and second number. And this you'll find mostly these comparison operators used in if statements, which are just conditions that are there first and then a line of code executes. And I'll show you that briefly. So let me just say first number equals second number. So what we're doing here is we're asking a question, is first number equals to second number? And if that is true, then it'll write on the console true. Why don't we do that? CW. So let's ask the question, is first number equals to second number? Is that true? Is 10 equals to 4? No. So it's going to give me a false. It's going to tell me false, which are Boolean values, but that's again for a future video. I hope you subscribe so you can see that. But I thought I just mentioned it now. So true and false are Boolean values. But back to this. Is the first number equal to the second number? Is 10 equals to 4? No. So this is false. Control and F5. False. Whoops. So again, now for greater than, is the first number greater than the second number? Is 10 greater than 4? That is true. So this should write on the console true. There you have it. Again, is first number less than second number? Not less than and then K. Is first number less than the second number? Is 10 less than 4? No, that is false. So it'll write on the console false. Control and F5 to run it again. But is it greater than or is it equal to? So is 10 greater than the second number? Yes. But it's not equal to. But as long as one of these is true, it's equal to, is greater than or equal to, then this will be true. So if it's greater than, then it's true. If it's equal to, then this is also true. And if write on the console, there it is. Same for less than. Is 10 less than or equal to 4? No. So that is false. And those over there are the comparison operators. Now I told you that they're used in if statements. So just a brief intro to if statements. Just write if, and then you put the condition here. As you can see, IntelliCode is suggesting to me. Now this is the condition that goes in here. You remember that question we're asking? If the first number is greater than the second number, curly braces, CW to write on the console, and then tab, write 100. Or I could use a string, but again, I don't want you, we're still working with numbers. So if 10 is greater than 4, see if 10 is greater than 4, write on the console 100. 100, or I can even just write true. That's a keyword because it represents a Boolean value, which we'll cover later on. But for now, just think of it as writing true on the console. There it is. So remember, if first number is greater than second number, this will execute. But if this is a false statement, that means the condition has not been met and anything here will not execute. So as you can see, nothing will be written on the console. That's just a little overview or a little intro to if statements. Real quick, if you're enjoying this content and you're learning something, please consider supporting me over on Patreon, and all the patrons will get instructions of how to implement these colors, which is a custom theme that I came up with called the Sakura theme. So if you're liking these colors and want to have them as well, please consider supporting me on Patreon at patreon.com/height above sea level. All right, let's move on to assignment operators. Assignment operators. And like you've been seeing here when we're making variables, this is an assignment operator. It's different from a comparison operators, and I will explain that shortly. So for comparison, assignment, we have the equal sign. For assigning, we have plus equals. We have minus equals. Again, multiplied equals, divide by equals. And then is that the last one? Yes, that is the last one. But again, there are more operators in C#, and I'll link an article in the description below so you can read as many of them as you like. So assignment operators. So let's create another variable. Let's say people. How many people do we have? We have 11 people. But actually, This is saying we're assigning the value of 11 to people. It's an assignment operator. It's used to assign. This is used to compare. You can't say var children is equals to 4. That doesn't work. And you put a semicolon, that doesn't work because this is for comparing. You can't assign the value of 4 to children because this is comparing. You can only do that like this. But let's say you wanted to add 5 people to this original number of people. You can say people plus people is equals to people plus 5 or plus 6. So we're looking at the original number of people here, and now we're saying that the new number of people is equals to people plus 6. Or we can say people plus equals 6. And that does the exact same thing, and I can even write it here on as a comment just to help you see. Now we're assigning the new value of people to people plus 6. And that saves you a little bit of time, and it's much shorter and much cleaner. So similar thing is if you put a minus, people is equals to people minus 6. So the new value of people now is equals to people plus 6 for this one. The new value of people here, people minus 6. And as you've guessed it, if you want to do a multiplication, you can do that as well. And subtraction as well. Why don't we see what this is like on the console? So let me delete these two. So right now, at this point, people is 11. But at this point, people is equals to 11 plus 6. And if you write that on the console, let's write people. This should give me 17. So Control and F5. As you can see, 17. And if you do people minus that, people minus equals 6, people should be, what number is this? 5, I believe. Control and F5. Yes, 11 minus 6 is 5. Remember, you can even do multiplication, and then this equals to people. 11 multiplied by 6, which will give me 66. There it is. Same thing for division. So this one is, it's a bit simpler and straightforward, so you don't need to overthink it. People, you assign the new value this way. It's shorter, means the new value of people is equals to people multiplied by 6. And then for this one, the new value of people is people plus 6. And yes, that is it for assignment operators. Finally, we're going to look at logical operators. And these ones are also interesting because just like comparison operators, you'll find them used a lot inside conditional statements. So we have the AND, logical OR, which is the double pipe. If you want to find this this symbol over here, I'm sure you've seen it in social media bios, people using it to separate the names like I'm a mom, a writer, a lover of coffee, etc., etc. You see them using this symbol, but in programming, two of them is a logical OR. And you can find them, you find the symbol next to the backslash. So AND operator, OR operator, and the NOT operator. So let's look at this again with the conditional statement. Remember, if first number is greater than second number and second number is greater than 0, we want to do something. This time we're writing on the console 100. So AND is used for two conditions. Remember, we're comparing this is a condition and this is also a condition, and these conditions are found inside this parentheses for an if statement. So if this is true, then you write on the console 100. The first condition and the second condition have to be true for the logical AND operator. I can also add it as a comment. I can say $. both conditions have to be true. So let's see, first number, is first number greater than the second number? Is 10 greater than 4? Yes. And so we've met the first criteria. This one also has to be true. Is second number 4 greater than 0? Yes. So first number is greater than second number, and second number is greater than 0. So we've met the qualifications. And now we can execute what's going on inside these curly braces. So this is going to write on the console 100. Control F5, 100. But let's say one of these wasn't true. Is first number less than second number? Is 10 less than 4? No, that is not true. So that completely disregards, or it completely messes everything up, and this condition is false all the time. Both of them have to be true. Run the application with Control and F5. Nothing is written because one of the conditions was not true. But if we use the OR operator, if any of these is true, then the whole thing evaluates to true. So only one of these has to be true for this code to be executed. And second number is greater than 0, but first number is not less than second number. 10 is not less than 4. But because this is true, we've met the criteria. Only one of them has to be true, and something will be written on the console, or 100 will be written on the console. Control F5, 100. Only one of them has to be true. And I can put that here as well. Only one condition has to be true. But if both of these are false, then it's automatically false. But if you're using the OR operator, only one of them has to be true for the condition to be true. If you're using the AND operator, both of them have to be true. Now finally looking at the NOT operator. NOT operator. And what this does is it negates. So let's say if we're comparing, let's look at a different condition. So first number equals to second number. So this, remember, you can think of comparison operators as questions. Is the first number equals second number? If that is false, then this is not going to execute. So 10 is not equal to 4. So this is a false statement. But if you put an exclamation mark, now this is asking, is first number not equal to second number? All right. So the question is first number not equal to second number? Is 10 not equals to 4? Yes, that is a true statement. So this is going to execute. 100. Think of this NOT operator as reversing any condition. So is this not greater? Is first number 10 not greater than second number? Is 10 not greater than 4? Is that true or false? 10 is not greater than 4. So what does that mean? This is a false statement. Let me read that again. Is first number not greater than second number? Is 10 not greater than 4? No, 10 is greater than 4. So this is not going to be written on the console. It is. I messed up. I think this only works with the equals, not equals. I've never used it like this. It's actually the first time I'm using it. Yeah, so not equals is the one that I've used the most. Yeah, that's the NOT operator. I've never used it with these other types, but that is your homework, that you can investigate and see what kind of crazy things you can come up with. But the one that you're sure will work is with the equal sign. Not equal. NOT operator reverses it. Same thing is if you put this like this, it's saying not true. So if you also do it like this, it's saying not false. So think of the NOT operator as reverses Boolean value. False is Boolean, true is Boolean. And comparison operators return a boolean, so putting the exclamation mark before it reverses it. And that is pretty much it for operators. Maybe you can go through them real quickly as a summary. Arithmetic operators for math: plus, equals, plus, minus, subtraction, multiplication, the common mathematical operations you can think of. Comparison operators, remember, these are asking questions. Is it equal to, is it greater than, is it less than, is it greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. Remember, assignment operators are for assigning values. So the single equals is for assigning, double equals is for comparing, and this is how you use them. Finally, logical operators are the ones you'll find a lot in conditional statements, and we're saying both conditions have to be true. If you're using the double ampersand, if you're using the double pipe, only one condition has to be true, and if you're using the not operator, it reverses the boolean value. Remember, not false and not true. And that's it. That's all I had for you guys. Did you learn something new today about operators? And was I going too fast, or was I not being clear enough? Let me know in the comments below if I need to maybe slow down or if I'm doing fine. Let me know in the comments below as well. Also, if you enjoyed the content, consider supporting me on Patreon, and you will get the instructions to set up the Sakura theme for your code editor for Visual Studio specifically, and it will look just like mine. Again, I stream on Twitch at height above sea level. If you want to talk more about this kind of thing live on stream, and if that doesn't work, come hang out on Discord instead. Just click the link in the description below and become a member of the Water Tribe today. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, from me to you, deuces.